Okay, Lions, Giants, joint practices, so we can really find out some things about our team and really want to. I'm really looking for. Okay, was there like a stalemate? Did one side stand out more than others? And the beautiful thing about this is you can go to the Giants coverage, the Giants social media, and really see what they saw through their eyes. Right? Maybe we paint it maybe through the media, our social media, all rosy. So I went to the Giants social media, and they had a highlights of day one practices with the Lions, and I found it really interesting because, of course, you would post areas where you really stand out, right? I mean, really good plays where you really beat our defense, or your defense really beats us. You know what I'm saying? So I was really looking for that, and these highlights were very just basic catches. I mean, it almost looked like they were scratching and clawing to find anything they could to put on the highlights. So that was number one. Didn't see any big time highlights from the Giants perspective on this day. Second thing was, all right, what are the Giants writers writing? And just kind of unanimously, they're all kind of writing about how the Giants offense struggled against the Detroit Lions defense. So they made the point that the offense had been really good through the first 10 days of practice, looking good, looking sharp, no pads on. But as you would expect or hope, is that when they went against a physical defense, that things would be a little bit different. So here's some of the things that the Giants writers said about this. And this was compiled by Pride of Detroit. Great work by them. Connor Hughes covers the Giants. He says, first day of Giants Lions joint practices, couple of quick thoughts. It was a bad day for the offense, specifically Daniel Jones. It might have been the worst he's been all camp. In the five full field 11 on 11 drills, Jones was 5 of 12 passing with a sack. Threw a picture of Dan Campbell in there. Appreciate it. It wasn't just Daniel Jones struggling, though. Pat Leonard noted that how active the Lions secondary was, which, thank you. This is a big point of emphasis for us going into this season. And by the way, we've been talking about kind of the offense, but our defense, we know, is going to be much improved. Hutchinson, secondary, linebackers. So here's what Darren Waller had to say about this. He said, it's a lot more physical out here. A lot more things to take into account. Somebody's going to come in and put a forearm in your ribs when you run over the middle. The field is, even though it's 7-on-7, just getting more acclimated to game-like situations and knowing that it's a physical game. It's not always going to be 7-on-7 and people tagging off you. So it's physical. We were in their face doing a lot of good things. Next thing was Aiden Hutchinson. Throughout this camp so far, Lions' second year, Aiden Hutchinson has been one of the most impressive players on the field, so it makes sense that the out-of-towners would take notice as well. Giants.com's John Schmelik said, they also worked one-on-ones, and the Giants' offensive line doing well to stay in front of pass rushers. However, Aiden Hutchinson looked the part physically, one of the most explosive players on the field. And Hutchinson would have had 2 sacks. CJ Gardner Johnson would have had a sack and also would have had an interception. We're flying around. We've got the players. Aiden Hutchinson is one that I am. Let me just stop on Aiden Hutchinson real quick. You saw it last year. Took a minute. The first half of the season, he was kind of almost out of breath, physically hadn't caught up to the game. Was there though, making plays, and then that second half of the season, he got stronger. He started figuring things out, counter moves. And then, so he just got a really good taste, and he played a lot last year. Then this offseason, he keeps talking about, in every interview, talks about how he had an offseason for the first time in his career, which I thought was interesting. And it makes sense because in high school, college, there's other things that you're doing. I'm a professional football player, and I've got my first off season because last off season you're going through the draft, combine, going to a new team, interviews, a lot more media stuff. This was, I'm going to go have an off season, get bigger, get stronger, get faster. And so to see Hutchins, that's exactly what he needs. He's got all the physical, the mental, he knows what to do, but he just needs to he just needed to just bulk up, get more physical, and here we go. So, oh my gosh, we've got a cornerstone defensive end we've never had. Lions edge Aiden Hutchinson put a hurting on Giants tackles, beating Pert multiple times and escaping Thomas on another likely sack. Unbelievable. I absolutely love that. And by the way, and I'm going to get to Jamar Gibbs here in a second. If you haven't seen this, I mean, this is one of the most incredible plays, and it's just a basic, simple play, but it's like, is this dude in fast forward and everybody else is in slow motion? Like, what is going on? Little stutter gone. I mean, doesn't even make a move. And look, I get this. Okay. It's one-on-one with a linebacker, all the field in the world. Like, so he's at a massive disadvantage, but it shouldn't be a 5-yard disadvantage. I mean, he creates 5 yards separation in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it's just gone. So I would say that was scary. I mean, that is unbelievable. So the Giants' first team defense gave up a touchdown to the Lions in the red zone period at the end of Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a pair of short catches. Jackson sniffed out a bootleg by Jared Goff, but Detroit running back Jahmyr Gibbs got open in the right flat off a play fake for an easy touchdown to cap the sequence. So here's where we're at. We have a defense that's physical, well coached, and we have playmakers now on defense. We haven't had that in a while, since since Caldwell, where we had like Darius Slay, Quandre Diggs, some of those guys. You had Glover, you had Stephen Tulloch. You got, it's been 10 years since we've had some really playmaking defensive players that are well coached, and not only just one in Hutchinson. You've got Hutchinson, you've got CJ Gardner-Johnson, linebacker, you might have something there. So all of a sudden, the Lions really are coming together, and it's just great to see that the defensive side is going to be. How could the defense not be just middle of the pack this year? And that's all we need. That's the floor. And then, boy, if they can be a top 10 defense, I mean, it's hard to kind of imagine. You just got to feel it. You feel good about them being a top 10 defense again, going against Jordan Love, Justin Fields. Those are not quarterbacks that scare you tremendously. And then Kirk Cousins is going to be good, but you got to feel like you've got a plan for Justin Jefferson. You've got to slow him down a little bit. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. I love seeing that the defense is what's playing well. That's great to see, and just can't wait for the first preseason game, the whole thing. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one, and we will see all of you on the next one.